Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio. Today we will discuss Ole Miss's pretty rough night in Tuscaloosa last night for the SEC opener for the Rebels basketball team. 82-64, the Tide over Ole Miss. Ole Miss falls to 5-2 overall, 0-1 in the SEC. They get Wichita State next in a non-conference game here in Oxford prior to their SEC home opener against the Auburn Tigers on January 9th. So we'll discuss that a little bit. I thought that The Athletic had a mailbag question. It was kind of interesting. We'll talk about that today. Neal's mailbag is up on the site at rebelgrove.com as well. So we'll hit some different topics. We'll be with you for a little while here on this Wednesday afternoon around 1 o'clock as we are getting started. Today on a podcast brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. You know about the Speed Pass Plus app, to download it, to use it, to earn points, and save money there with the Oxford Exxon in all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. Lunch specials $5.69 every single day. 2 sides of bread, 32-ounce drink. If you want to go next door to the Oxford Crystal, they are reintroducing the Hangover Crystal as New Year's Eve is close to upon us for $169 all day. You can get a normal Crystal burger. They'll put bacon, egg, and cheese on that bad boy. Again, $169 available there at the Oxford Crystal. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900. I'm laughing at the message board. Lane Kiffin said there's another opt-out, but he said it would come out on social media, and people are either guessing or frustrated or angry or all of the above. And just some of the GIFs and things crack me up. Yeah. Is it GIF or GIF?
We've been over this a lot. The creator of the GIF says it's GIF. So, I mean, I'll take his word for it. Now, That doesn't make sense because it's like graphics interface, whatever, but...
So it should be GIF, but
again,
whatever.
It's a very contentious topic.
All right. Some of the GIF/GIFs crack me up. Everybody's happy. Everybody's pissed at the same time. Perfect. What was I talking about? Clark Ford. 662-257-1900. Call that number. Corey and the people at Clark Ford will send your quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, but I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest will join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. You good? You mean to start an
We only have left levels, but I can fix it in Audition. I don't know why. I think our recorder is crapping out, however.
Let me just open Audition and record from here.
I mean, if you'd like to, but I think it's recording, but we're only getting a left signal. We're not getting a right signal on my recorder.
It's not difficult to do. I've got it here on the trusty big boy box.
We've had this one for a really long time, so I'm not mad at Tascam for it crapping out at this point. But
no,
I'm just glad it's only one side and not both sides. But yeah, I'm getting no right audio.
Got our money's worth on that one.
Yeah, it's all good. Yep. So a lot of hours. So anyway,
what
were you talking about?
I was talking about Rafters Music and Food. You can go to Rafters Music and Food. Recording now. You can go to Rafters Music and Food this weekend. Hang out, watch college football. Ole Miss in Indiana at 11:30 Central Time on ABC at the Outback Bowl. There's that Kentucky-North Carolina State game that if you just don't like yourself, you should watch 30 minutes before it starts. There's games that night. There's games on New Year's Day, including the big playoff games, NBA, NFL. We actually have sports as we turn the calendar from 2020 to 2021, and we should all be thankful for that. So you can be thankful at Rafters Music and Food, and while you're being thankful, you can enjoy the burgers, po' boys, shrimp, beer, bourbon selection, wine, whatever the case may be, whatever turns you on there at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford or in New Albany.
So last night, as we said, did not go well for the Rebels at Coleman Coliseum. Really, it's been a bit of a house of horrors for Ole Miss. I mean, at least while I've covered them and been around, they do not play well in Tuscaloosa. I mean, I'm not saying the 2007 team or 8 team had any impact on 2020, but as a rule, I bet they've won fewer times in Tuscaloosa than any other West site.
It's probably true. and I know you're not doing it, so this isn't me yelling at you. I have a difficult time putting a lot of stock in that as an excuse, if you will.
Not. Yeah, nothing. It just seems trendy for whatever reason. I don't know. What I thought last night, and I'm far from the basketball aficionado, but I watched the entire game, is They were nowhere near what we have seen on defense. They gave up way too many easy buckets. I thought Alabama's length affected them far more than anybody else. Because, frankly, look, I mean, Dayton's a pretty good basketball team. But other than Dayton, Ole Miss has played nobody this season with any length whatsoever. I thought Alabama's length, athleticism got to them. I thought that their backcourt, including Schuler, looked very helter-skelter at times last night. They did not get into a lot of rhythm. It was a lot of panic possessions, it seemed like, where everything was just off kilter and all over the place. I mean, it looked nothing like a basketball team that was going to win a basketball game last night at all.
No.
I mean,
they trailed the entire time.
Yeah, they got behind early, and when you struggle offensively, that's almost impossible to come back from. And they cut it to maybe 8 a few times, but never got that next bucket to really
got
press
it to 5, got it to 6.
Did they get it to 5 or 6?
Had open looks from 3. Schuler missed airballed 1.
Well, they were 1 for 13 from 3 last night. They shot 34% from the field, and then 19 of 35 from the stripe last night. Which A is terrible for you, and B, they couldn't take advantage of the fact that Alabama beats them by basically 20, only going 14 of 24 from the stripe. Bama missed 10.
Yeah.
Now Bama shot 43% from the field. They were 12 of 37. From 3, that's 32%. Back-to-back games where Ole Miss has given up pretty close to 50% from the field.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, not a whole lot I can add. That'll be today's show. We'll see you guys. Look, there's a couple things. So you broke down the game. I'll do some of the big picture stuff that I see people doing. And look.
Before you do it, let me throw one more at you.
All right, go ahead.
Again, I get that 2009 in Coleman Coliseum bears nothing. And I get this season's just starting out, and I get that Kermit will admit he did not have his guys last year at all, and that was a roster that he did not like. I think he would admit that, right?
Yeah.
Ole Miss is 8-17 in their last 25 SEC games.
Yeah. That's where I was going. So 2 things. One, the people that are overreacting to one game, take a deep breath. It's one game. Texas A&M got mauled at College Station in Baton Rouge last night, and they're going to be okay. Now, on the other side, the people that are just passing this off as it's nothing. There's nothing to be seen. No, there is. There is something to be seen. There absolutely is. It's fair to begin to ask about some of the evaluations that have been made. It is. Kermit would tell you that. It's fair to say, where's Demencio Vaughn? It's fair to ask, why is Austin Crowley not giving you more than he's giving you?
Yeah, Crowley last night, 10 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field, 0 for 2 from the free throw line, 0 points, 2 boards, 2 fouls, 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's fair to ask, where's his production?
Rodriguez played 32 minutes last night, but he went 1 for 7 from the field, 0 for 2 from the line.
It's a team that consistently now has played 7 games. Mm-hmm. They're not particularly good on offense.
No, they're bad.
Yeah.
They're bad on offense.
They're bad on offense. And they're not as good on defense as they need to be bad on offense. But look, if you're bad on offense, it's like being a baseball team that can't hit. You just don't look good most of the time. Ask me, Cub fan. When you don't hit, you only look good when your pitching is awesome.
And the pressure's on them to be awesome every freaking day.
And so they're awesome sometimes. But sometimes the ace gets hit. And boy, on those days, you look like crap. Oh, my God. The days you roll out there and your ace gives up 4 in the first. Whew. And that's Ole Miss right now. They gave up 4 in the first yesterday. It's 8-0, and you're behind the 8 ball. You're having to call timeout. You're having to settle people down. Look, the new coach thing doesn't hold up. This is Nate Oates, second year? Mm-hmm. Nope. Doesn't hold up. Here's the thing, before it comes across as me ripping Kermit, because I am not ripping Kermit. I think Kermit's a hell of a basketball coach. But they've got to make some better evaluations, and you see why, because Alabama's out there with some 5 stars, some high 4 stars. This is a players' league. That's the big difference between Middle Tennessee and Ole Miss. And this is really more about staff than it is about Kermit. Mm-hmm. You can, and he did, out-coach people in that league they were in. Yeah. Not this league.
USA? Who is it?
Yeah, I was trying to think. Was it USA, Sunbelt?
Whatever. Yeah, either way, doesn't matter.
The one with South Alabama, right?
Sunbelt's that one.
You can out-coach people there. You can out-prepare people there. You can out-scheme people there. And
frankly, he had some mercenaries. He had some good players. He had talent that came in with their last chance from other programs.
Sure. But you understand my point.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot like Freeze.
Yeah.
Freeze at Liberty, we go, well, he's going to win a lot of games because he's a better coach than everybody else he's playing against.
He's going to out-scheme everybody and out-think everybody and out-play call everybody.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, drop Lane Kiffin into Liberty's schedule. Undefeated, baby.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Uh-huh.
He's going to get bored out of his mind.
Yeah.
But they're going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
This isn't that. And Kermit knows it.
Yeah.
Kermit coached at LSU for John Brady for a long time. He knows it. This is, his dad coached at Mississippi State. Kermit played at Mississippi State. He's been at LSU. He was at Texas A&M.
He knew what he was getting into.
He knows the score. But they've got to figure that part out.
Because they're big recruiting. It's nothing against Matthew Morrell. It's not. He's not there yet.
Now, he looks like he's going to get there.
Yeah, sure.
He looks like he's going to get there.
It's not even a shot at Morrell. It's just saying today.
He's
not carrying a basketball game.
Hell no, he's not. That's his seventh college game, and for the second time in a row, you're suddenly asking Devontae Shuler, who has been a really good Robin, hey, put that Batman costume on if you would.
Yeah, Brian's not over there anymore. So.
TD's not there. Brian's not there. Hey, you're Batman.
I think against Dayton, Shuler was 4 for 20 from the field. He was 2 for 11 last night.
Forced some shots. Hurried some shots.
0 for 4 from 3.
Didn't get a lot of help from his backcourt mate when they tried to take him off the ball and Jarkel played on the ball. KJ's got to grow up. But it's been saying this for 3 years now.
Yeah.
So it's a broken record. KJ gives him 15 and 8, I think, yet he fouls out with 7 minutes to go. He spends so much time on the bench in foul trouble.
Yeah, 24 minutes, 15 and 8.
24 minutes. They need 32, 33 minutes from KJ because he's one of their 3 or 4 best players.
They need what they got from Romello White. Romello White was damn good last night.
Romello's a really good player.
He goes for 20 and 8 in 32 minutes last night.
And they'll get more out of Hadim as he plays his way into shape. That's not his fault, and that's not Kermit's fault, and that's not the staff's fault. He'll get better. He
played 6 minutes last night.
He had a concussion, and then they had to shut down, and then he got an illness. I don't know whether it was COVID or whether it was something else. I don't know. But, he's back and playing his way into shape, and he hasn't played much at all, so it's going to take him a minute. And that's understandable. But Demencio Vaughn, they thought they'd get a lot more out of him. Crowley. Jarkel Joyner. They got to get more out of those guys, or it's not going to be enough. Because I watched LSU, Texas A&M. I watched the entire first half and the last few minutes. Mm-hmm. And they're both super athletic. It's going to shock everybody. Will Wade's got players.
He does.
It's an athlete league. Tennessee's good. Really good. Arkansas hadn't played anybody. It'll be interesting to see them play Auburn tonight, but I have watched them enough to go, they're athletic. Auburn's athletic. Missouri's got some athletes. People have athletes in this league. You got to be able to go play, and I'm a little concerned, and Kermit talked about it last night. I'm a little concerned. I guess I should have pulled that up. We could have played that today. I'm a little concerned about just their inability to score, and Kermit said last night that he's been worried about it for a while. Their inability to put the ball in the basket. It's a game where you get points for putting the ball in the basket, and they're not good at that right now. And Alabama was athletic, and Alabama got to the rim and got easy buckets, and this team can't give up easy buckets if it's going to win games against teams the caliber of Alabama. It just can't. Be a tough film session today. But we'll see. That's the second part of my point. Is there's two sides to this long-winded diatribe. One is that you can't overreact to one game because there's going to be a call to Jesus at some point in the next couple of days on this. When they watch the film, and everybody's going to know this won't work. If this is what we're going to be, this is going to be a really long spring. But on the flip side, it is fair. It is absolutely fair to go, hey, it's been a minute.
team.
Where are the players?
Yeah.
That's fair. Why? And look, this is.
And look, the larger discussion there is Ole Miss as a program in a spot to get the players you need.
That's
the conversation.
Bingo.
That we've been having for a decade. Been having since AK didn't get Johnny O'Brien and Kai Madden and Andre Hollins and those dudes.
You work so hard on a kid like Brandon Huntley Hatfield, and Jim Boeheim makes one phone call, and all of a sudden you feel like you're behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough part of that job.
The kid that went to Duke, I can't remember his name. Jamin Brakefield.
Jamin Brakefield, thank you.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a really hard job.
It's a harder job when the football team's winning.
Oh, it's not even close.
It's harder when the football team's winning.
Yes.
Read into that as you will.
When the football team wins and the excitement gets going about football, that excitement's going.
Yeah.
When the excitement's going in football, there's not a lot of excitement left over.
Mm-hmm.
Football doesn't impact baseball because those two sports don't recruit the same way.
Yeah, nothing.
Dude, you don't really recruit with excitement in baseball.
No.
Different deal.
Yeah.
And so when people say, because it used to drive Andy crazy, well, they win in baseball here, and he's like,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? You know, maybe one of the funniest just sit down and having a conversation thing where he talked about baseball, and he didn't mean it as like a knock at Mike or anything like that. He's just like, how can you possibly think that's apples to apples? It's hard. It's a hard job. It's a hard job.
Oh, the only two things that those two sports do anything for is just trying to get fans' attention and whatever. You lose, you run the risk of losing fans to baseball once they start overlapping in the spring.
Yeah.
That's what you run into.
Yeah.
You got the 1 o'clock baseball game and the 5 o'clock basketball game, and are people doing both?
Yeah.
It's 75 and sunny, and
it's over.
Yeah.
Night.
Are we going to basketball or are we going to dinner? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
We've had a couple beers. We're hot, kind of tired.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to the pavilion or we go to Brad Larry's and they got a TV. We'll just kind of watch it and we'll hang out.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard. It's a hard job. And Alabama's got guys like Quinterly, the point guard, who lit Ole Miss up like a Christmas tree last night. I mean, just lit them up. I don't know what did he go for, 25, 24, 26, something like that. He lit them up.
Quinterly went for 24 and 32 minutes last night.
Yeah, crushed them.
He's the only player on the stat sheet that doesn't have a plus minus next to his name. I don't know why. I'm sure it was plus.
Well, it's just one big plus.
Yeah, I don't know. Alabama has no one on their team with a negative plus minus, and Ole Miss has no one on their team with a plus minus.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Ole Miss not only never closed the gap, Ole Miss never really had winning segments in that game. They had some even segments, but they never really had any segments where, like, you watched a 4-minute segment and you went, "Oh, well."
No, they cut. There was the one time, maybe midway second half, when Bama had gotten it up to 14, and Ole Miss cut it to like 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Felt like a run.
You went, okay, one basket, and you at least kind of have a game, and we'll see where it goes.
Then they missed a 3 and gave up a 3,
and it went back to 15, and that was
and it was over. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, I mean the game was tied for 51 seconds. Ole Miss never led.
Yeah.
Bama led for 39:09.
Wow.
So, as Neal said, LSU ripped A&M last night. So the Tigers 1-0 in the league, and then tonight's games: Mississippi State at Georgia. That's on SEC Network. Arkansas at Auburn. It's a good game. ESPN2 for that one. 6 o'clock. Tennessee at Missouri. Big game for Missouri tonight. Getting Tennessee and Columbia. SEC Network on that one at 8, and then also at 8, the Florida Gators are at the Vanderbilt Commodores. So there is your rundown of games tonight in the SEC. And again, Ole Miss starts back on Saturday against Wichita State.
I know nothing about Wichita State.
I know Greg Marshall got fired, right?
Yep.
That's all I got.
I think that game's at 5 o'clock. Chase is going to, as soon as we finish with hand-raised guys, Chase is going to
head on over and
Chase is going to do a live
a
live
basketball
watch with you guys, and then do a 3-hour post.
Probably could do it from press row. Not like it'll be crowded. Have plenty of room.
No, They might pay.
Would they allow you and I to sit within 6 feet of one another on press row?
I don't know. It's a good question. Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. We'd have to wear a mask.
Okay. Well, that is true. That part is true. Get some popcorn and just eat it for 40 minutes, maybe.
I wouldn't want to do a show. I wouldn't want to do a show wearing a mask the entire time.
It would be very.
Yeah. You'd feel like you were just.
Yeah. We'll talk football.
LSU looked good though.
Yeah, they did.
LSU looked good.
Well, look, come on.
A&M looked good for a while.
And they got ran out of the building.
And they've got a player, Saviel, number 1.
Sure.
Legitimate player.
We'll talk football in a second. We'll talk about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting and understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. Make sure to get in touch with Comer and Heating and Air for all of your heating and cooling needs. 662-801-1777 throughout Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area. Again, 662-801-1777. If you're already thinking about Valentine's Day, getting ready for the spring, getting your spring attire ready, I would highly recommend our friends at Blue Delta Jeans. Get in touch with them through social media. Send them an email at info@bluedeltajeans.com. Set up a personal fitting for you and your loved one. Get into a pair of Blue Delta Jeans, bespoke Mississippi-made jeans. You'll absolutely love them. Take our word for it. We both have them. We absolutely love them. You will too. BlueDeltaJeans.com or hop into their Instagram, Twitter at Blue Delta Jeans. Also brought to you by Dead Soxy. Go to deadsoxy.com. Got a little bit of time left, like a day. Go enter promo code Rebel Grove at checkout. Get 30% off your order at Dead Soxy, the best socks you'll ever put on your feet.
So, just reading this, I don't know where it came from. I guess from something else in The Athletic when I pulled up their deal. And it was a Rams chat talking about L.A. and Arizona, who they play. And somebody in the comment section said, just want to let you know the Rams fans are luck, blah, 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 blah. Also, were you aware that John Walford, who is the quarterback for the Rams this week in Jared Goff's absence, went to college with the upcoming Bachelor Matt James and also beat out former Bachelorette contestant Tyler Cameron in college as well.
Oh, wow.
So he has lots of Bachelor ties there for Walford. He was in that what was the American Alliance Football League or whatever. He was like the best player in that league or whatever. The last like minor league football thing that went belly up recently.
Yeah.
Not the XFL, but the other one.
You guys watched a lot more of that than I ever did.
I think it's the one Spurrier coached in, right? Wasn't that his league?
I'll take your word for it.
Because like Tamu played in the XFL.
Yeah.
It was the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Anyway, as Neal said earlier, there is one more opt-out. Blaine didn't say who. Ole Miss said it would put it out on social media at some point, so I don't know. I mean, I have my suspicions, but...
Oh, you do? You have a guess?
My guess is Royce.
Oh, could be.
Right?
I would just guess offense based on what he said.
I would guess offense. It has to be... Because, look, if Jerrian's not playing, you wouldn't use the words opt-out. You could just say his ankle's not ready. You know what I mean? There's no reason to tag him with that.
I actually think Jerrion's going to try to play.
I do too. My point, though, is to me it has to be a senior or a leaving early junior.
Yeah.
Royce makes the most sense to me. He's got the Senior Bowl invite. There's been rumors about it anyway. I mean, again, I'm not reporting. I have no freaking idea. But, yeah, if you told me I had to throw a guess into a lottery, that would be my guess.
Royce would surprise me a little bit just because he's been there that long and won last time, but he has a lot to lose by getting hurt. A lot.
Every night you're seeing guys get hurt and other guys go, I mean,
it's January the 2nd. The Senior Bowl's like 4 weeks away, 3 weeks away. Ugh,
I mean, Etlinger last night gets hurt for Texas.
Did he?
I mean, I don't know if it was bad, but yeah he got hurt. The kid for Oklahoma State only played a half. They negotiated a half out of him. He opted out at halftime of the game.
Who won
Miami.
that game?
I thought Oklahoma State won, didn't they?
Oklahoma State was up big, and then Miami came back a little bit. I was making myself watch college basketball instead with the LSU Texas A&M game because
37-34 Pokes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the kid for Oklahoma State, he opted out at halftime.
Opted out at the half.
I mean,
Laramie Tunsil once opted out at the half. We did.
Do you think that was arranged no matter what?
I don't know, but
they were up like 31-0.
Yeah, but he opted out at the half.
He didn't do anything second half.
Stood on the sideline and then did an interview.
He did. I did the interview. Kid for Oklahoma State had a hell of a second half once he was gone.
Amazing.
It was a difference.
He's never been more excited to play football in his life.
Well,
he looked at it, it's like no 78. He's like, oh my God.
Well, they moved him to the other side the whole first half, and then in the second half, like I heard one of the Oklahoma State media members was like, "Yeah, what was the dude's name? Akbar or whatever his name was." He goes, "Yeah, I mean, he really came on late." It's like, "We got no shit, thanks."
You were like in high school when you'd face a great pitcher and he'd come out and they'd bring in the kid that was not a great pitcher and the ball suddenly looked like a beach ball. It had to be like that.
Jeez. Anyway. But that was a pretty good segue when we were just kind of talking. I got intrigued by this, and I don't know how likely or unlikely it is, but I'm going to read the question and then most of the answer because I did find it interesting. This is in the Athletics mailbag. It was out today. If you're a subscriber to the Athletic, you can just go to their homepage, search college football, and it's the main story. I think Kyle Pitts is the picture at the top of the story, so you can find that. But somebody says, do you think this is the final year of players opting out of bowls? I know that sounds crazy, but let me finish the question. I feel that with NIL coming, bowls would be wise to pay the top players an appearance fee of sorts with contract language stipulating plays and adding incentives for reaching certain numbers. It seems like a win for everybody as increased fan interest would exponentially drive up revenue from a hopeful fan who loved the glory days of the bowl era. The answer from The Athletic. Asked some NIL experts, including Andy Staples and Nicole Auerbach, and they all agreed that under the proposed NCAA language, the organizations that run the major bowl games and their sponsors would qualify as a permitted third-party company. The bowl or sponsor couldn't explicitly pay athletes to play in the game, but it could arrange appearances, events, or promotions related to it and pay them for the rights to use their likeness. The school itself couldn't arrange it, and the players would not be allowed to use their logo, otherwise, though, completely kosher. So let's say you're the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. You've got a matchup in a non-COVID-19 year. You really want Florida fans to travel and buy tickets to the game. You could give Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, and Kadarius Toney $25,000 each to ensure their participation. Don't tell the bowl they can't afford it. I've been in the hospitality group. They got pockets. The bowl could then run TV commercials in Gainesville with the three of them in generic blue and orange clothing, urging people to call now and buy tickets, or arrange a meet and greet at the stadium a day before the game, or even book them on every Dallas TV show and sports talk radio show for a week. Just thinking out loud here. Now, is $25,000 enough to entice a guy staring at millions? I have no idea. How many bowls will be willing to do this? No idea. But it goes on in saying that realistically you could pay players to play in bowl games if you're the bowl with a sponsor. It's a thought.
No, it's a real thought.
Now, what are dudes worth? I don't know. That's up for somebody else to figure out. But
this is the part that I think.
But kids like instant gratification. You tell the kid, "Hey, I'll give you $30,000 to play in the game." They'll play in the game. A lot of times.
Most of the time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe the number one pick goes, "Hey, nah, sorry," but
yeah. I mean, if you think about it. Oh, and this pisses fans off. And I get why it pisses fans off. And if I were a fan, it would piss me off. So I get it, okay? But you think about it like, what the hell is Trevor Lawrence playing for?
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence is months away from what? What was the first? What did Burrow get in Cincinnati? I know this is a terrible pod, but it's $30-something million.
36-1. Fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. So Trevor's going to put 10% inflation on that. $40 million. So you guys out there in YouTube land, podcast land, your son's staring $40 million square in the face.
As long as nothing impacts his body in the next 4 months.
Yeah. $40 million. He's got pro day, and he's got to go to the combine, and he's got all this stuff to do. But
frankly, he doesn't even have to run or throw. They don't care.
You're really close to being able to put him in a bubble. Put some, a couple of dietitians with him, because an agent's going to pay for all this stuff. You're going to put a couple of dietitians with him. You're going to put a chef with him. You're going to put personal trainers around him. You're going to be able to really take care of him between now and the draft. And Chase is going to get $40 million. That's not. This is not hyperbolic. I might be underestimating what he gets.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing in a game.
Well, you are, because you're not factoring in endorsements and things along those lines.
I'm just talking about
contract.
Oh, I'm just talking about his contract.
Yeah.
And this guy with the hair and the reputation and all that stuff. I mean, he's
Pantene Pro V waiting to happen.
I mean, oh yeah. Can you imagine him in the Pantene commercial? Whew. Why is he playing? I get it. I get why kids opt out. So when people go, well, they shouldn't opt out. Their scholarship this, their scholarship. Nah.
Yeah, Trevor gets hurt. He might go in the first. He ain't going number 1, though.
But what if he suffers a catastrophic injury? You don't know. He could suffer a hip dislocation. Watch Tua play and tell me he's the same player.
Mm-hmm.
What if Laquan's injury had happened in a bowl game? What if Laramie's broken leg had happened in the Sugar Bowl and not the Peach?
Totally different
There's
deal.
a big difference between going first and 14th. I get it. I get every side of the argument. People are saying 2 natties is a rare accomplishment. I understand. I get it. 2 natties don't pay the bills. $40 million does. I mean, I go back and forth. I can play devil's advocate. This would be a great thing for debate class because I could do both sides. But I totally understand. Some of the hints that I've gotten lead me to believe it's not Royce. That's the reason I'm even having the debate.
Okay. Who do you think it is?
I'm almost embarrassed to say based on the hints I've gotten. Luke Logan.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. I mean.
But why?
I don't know. Maybe just done.
I mean, okay, but.
I mean, for whoever, it's. Again, this is not a traditional bowl trip in any sense of the word.
They don't get the full week.
No, they're going down tomorrow night.
It's a road game.
It's a road game.
With an extra night where they don't do anything.
Yeah.
They might be at dinner or something.
Yeah, instead of a night in a hotel, they've got a night and a day, and then another night just sitting in a hotel, can't go anywhere. And if you go anywhere, you got to put a mask on and all that stuff. And I know I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying, here's what you got to do. And then you get up on Saturday morning and you go play. And then on Saturday night, they're going to let them go out and party and be kids.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Lane made mention that I'm kind of glad there's no COVID test on Sunday.
Yeah, because he made a joke. He goes, because a lot of them might go get COVID.
Yeah.
He was kidding. It was a joke.
Mary Ann died today of COVID-related illness.
No way.
Gilligan's Island.
From Gilligan?
Don Wells.
How old was she?
82.
82.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, saw that a few minutes ago on the Twitter sphere. Tony Elliott missing.
Man, I loved that show. As a kid, I loved that show. It was on Superstation TBS. In the afternoons, I got home from school. You had Gilligan, Leave It to Beaver, the Brady Bunch.
I don't remember what was around Gilligan's Island on the TV. It was I caught it on WGN.
It was either the Munsters or the Addams Family. I want to say it was the Munsters, but maybe it was the Addams Family. Bewitched would come on like at 5 o'clock. I wasn't as into Bewitched as others.
Yeah, see, I only remember I remember WGN, so I got tons of Cubs games when I stayed with my great-grandmother. So I was pretty young, and I remember Cubs games, Bozo the Clown, Gilligan's Island, A-Team.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe 1 or 2 other things. That's kind of what, in my head, when you mentioned that programming, that's what I remember.
Didn't the grand prize game drive you crazy on Bozo?
In what way?
Drove me nuts.
Because of what?
Well, because they'd get the little kid on there, and the little kid would, like, butcher bucket number 2. And you're like, dude, how do you miss bucket number 2? It's right there. Just lean over and put it in. Drove me crazy.
So, I mean, I was way young here. A lot of people didn't win all the way.
Oh, no. Most of the time, they rarely won.
Could you stop? Like millionaire?
No.
You had to do it all.
Well, yeah, but you got whatever you won.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
If you miss, you don't lose.
No, it wasn't like a gambling show for 6-year-olds, man. All right, little Jenny.
No deal.
You've won this wet and white Barbie. You want to risk it and go for the Schwinn or not? No, come on.
I don't know. I'm not going political on Don Wells. I have no clue. It just said related to COVID. I have no clue. Sorry, Timmy. You lose.
All right, Timmy, think close. Deal or no deal?
Was that always done in Chicago, or did
Yeah.
it get moved somewhere else?
I think it was in Chicago the whole time.
Was it?
Yeah, but you'd see the kid get to like bucket number 4, bucket number 5, and we're all watching.
Getting nervous.
Oh, me and my brothers would all be locked in at that point.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because there was a fresh $100 bill at the bottom of bucket number 6
That's right.
and a new bike.
That's right.
That's like the Price is Right when you get a new car. It's a new bike.
You get both prizes if you get $100.
Hell yeah. JM, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I will not thank you for the suckers. I'm glad that's over.
You want to do it again next week?
Nope.
I think it's been Bill Barnwell. We're mentioning contracts. He put this up the other day. Chase Daniel, career backup quarterback at this point. I guess he came in from Matt Stafford the other day, was what it was, or whatever happened in that game with the Lions. His career earnings to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Daniel, I don't know that has he been a starter for a year, maybe 1 or 2.
He was a starter for the Bears that year for a while because they had an injury and he started several games.
Okay, but where he's the quarterback going into a season, has he ever been the actual starter at a team?
I don't know.
Because he was Breeze's backup for a long time in New Orleans too.
Yeah.
Now he's been in Kansas City. He's been in Philadelphia. He was with the Saints again. He's been all over the place. His career earnings, $37 million, and has another 10 guaranteed the next 2 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
He has 4.5 next year and 5 the next year with the Lions. Total cash. So he's going to put together, say he retires at the end of that just for the heck of it. He will have put together a 13-14 NFL career that makes right at $50 million to be a backup quarterback. Good work if you can get it.
Oh, yeah. It's great work. If you
Really
can get
good
it.
work.
Yeah. Well, you show up, you go to work, you're a good guy, you help the starter.
He got $2.5 million signing bonus for the Lions.
How big of a Bears fan are you this weekend? Hunter wants to know.
Very large. Very large. Need a lot of things to go right, but
You want to wear a Trubisky jersey?
could.
Yeah.
I mean, surely the Saints beat the Panthers, right? So that part's probably okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
The Bears have played well the last couple of weeks. They really have. All jokes aside, Trubisky has not been awful.
Yeah,
He's not been Aaron Rodgers.
For the Saints to get the 1 seed, the Seahawks have to win, the Packers have to lose, and the Saints have to win. Seahawks get the 1 seed if the Packers lose and the Saints lose.
Gotcha.
And then the Packers get it with a win or a Saints loss or a Seahawks loss.
Joseph King says the Bozo bucket number 6 was rigged. The ping pong ball always bounced out. It did bounce out a lot.
I think they had a defective bucket.
No, I just think maybe they put a little bounce, the bouncier bucket. I think a lot of times is they throw.
Because that's one of the ways the carnival games are rigged, like the way the buckets and stuff are, like for ping pong balls, because the weight and the density and stuff, they don't stay, they just bounce.
Yeah. You kind of had to hit it in the bucket just right, and the average 9-year-old was not prepared for that thought process.
Well,
But you saw people win it.
so they were ripping off 6-year-olds, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost of admission to get into the Bozo show was. You did get to see.
Was it like Price is Right, where they like come on down from the crowd, or what?
Yeah, you got called down.
Studio audience?
Yeah. Because he did a show. The grand prize game was the very end.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Who was Bozo's sidekick?
Cookie.
Cookie. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I couldn't remember that.
Oh, God.
Don Wells married to one person from 62 to 67, and that was it.
That was it?
Uh-huh.
She said enough of this.
Yeah, born in 1938.
I wonder how tired she got of the whole Marianne versus Ginger debate.
I'm looking? She was actually active as of 2019 with Credits. I mean,
Really?
it was off and on since 2000, but she's done some stuff since 2000.
So who's left from that show? Is Ginger still alive, or she's gone too, right?
I feel like she died, right?
Yeah. Gilligan's gone.
Everybody else has been older.
Is the professor, Russell Johnson, is he still around? I realize now that we missed an opportunity to nickname our former colleague. We call him the professor.
No, he died in 2014.
He never would have gotten it. He never would have
no
picked up.
chance.
No chance.
I mean,
I'm almost sad now at a lost opportunity.
Gilligan's Island cast still alive. I don't know that anyone is.
Well, you know Thurston Howell's gone and Lovey's gone.
Skipper's got to be dead.
Skipper's got to be.
As of March 2020, Wells and Louise are the only surviving members. Who's Louise? Is that Ginger? I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that is Ginger.
No, it's bad pod.
No, I'm curious. Tyler says he would have thought we were talking about the street ball player, Russell Johnson.
While I'm looking up some of this, we're not quite done with WGN programming from the late 1980s and early 1990s, just quite yet. But before we do that, I will tell you about G&M Pharmacy and Tyson Drug, 662-236-2222 here in Oxford. Deliver locally in the Oxford area. They offer MedSync for your prescriptions the same day each month to make it easy on you. One trip, whether it be delivery or pick up there at the pharmacy, and you will have what you need when you need it. They also still are offering their immune support med packs and more 30-day supplies of medications to improve your lung health. So make sure you give G&M a call or check them out at Tyson Drugs on the Square in Holly Springs, 662-236-2222.
We're also brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, it's next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's cool, no problem. You can go to collegecornerstore.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram. It's collegecornerstore.com there in Jackson. We'll have picks up tomorrow. They're brought to you by the College Corner. You started on picks and then got out because you were worried I was in. Is that right?
Well, no, it was actually just making sure. I didn't know when you were publishing, and in case you did it before I was done, I'd have today's game or the first game finished for the day. I wouldn't be behind a game.
No.
What I was doing.
Okay.
Because typically in bowl season we publish and then fill in as it goes. So I was just making sure I was covered.
Yeah, that was too much work this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in multiple states, advisors in several states as well. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotion. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com, PINN trust.com. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. A lot of positive vaccine news out there. A lot of people really feeling like May, June, July, things are going to be, quote, normal, end quote. If that's the case, that means you're going to have an opportunity to go on that vacation that probably didn't get to go on in 2020. I would suggest getting in touch with John. There are great deals to be had right now. You can lock in rates right now that probably aren't going to be available in May and June and July. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. John sent me a text the other day asking if you and I were going to be watching the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And I said, nope, I would opt out of any mayonnaise
mayonnaise-related bowls.
Yes, I would opt out.
Yeah, so Tina Louise is still alive. Ginger she's 86 years old and still alive.
Oh, how about that?
So she is the last remaining cast member. Who is this, Charlotte and somebody?
No, this is a replay of Ole Miss, Alabama, apparently.
Oh, okay. Bob Denver died in 2005. That's Gilligan. Of cancer. Russell Johnson died in 2014. The skipper died in 1990, which he was born in 21. He was by far older than the other ones. Thurston Heil, Jim Backus died in 1989. He was 8 years older than the skipper, by the way, just as far as the actual actors.
This is the Mayo Bowl here.
Okay. Lovey died in 1991. And then the creator, Sherwood Schwartz, died in 2011. So there's your Gilligan's Island cast. I did not realize it only lasted like 4 years. Gilligan's Island. It feels like there were more episodes and that went on longer than that, but I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, I guess didn't they finally rescue them
In the
at the very
one
end?
of the made-for-TV movies, though, they like got shit stuck again. Did they get rescued again from those?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I'm asking.
No.
I'm not an expert on Gilligan's Island.
It was always amazing how brilliant the professor could be until it came time to being salvaged, and then he was an idiot.
99 total episodes, 3 seasons for Gilligan's Island.
Like why would you keep trusting Gilligan? Every time you trusted Gilligan, it went to hell. So at some point, you learn your lesson and be like, okay, tonight we're going to put the professor's going to watch overnight, right?
Yeah. Every night.
Yeah.
You're in charge.
Yeah, and Ginger would always get all flirty with the professor. You know, at some point, he was like, look,
We've been here a while.
we've been here a while. It's been a minute.
At this point, it is or it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, this is either going somewhere or it's not.
Yeah, so
And if it's not, I'm moving on to Marianne.
all right. 1978 television film, Rescue from Gilligan's Island. The castaways successfully leave the island but have difficulty reintegrating into society. During a reunion cruise on the first Christmas after their rescue, fate intervenes and they find themselves wrecked on the same island at the end of the film. It starred the original cast except for Tina Louise, who refused to participate because of her disputes with the producers and was replaced by Judith Baldwin. I didn't realize that.
Oh, wow.
The plot involves Soviet agents seeking a memory disk from a spy satellite that landed on the island and facilitated their rescue. In 1979's sequel, The Castaways on Gilligan's Island, they are rescued once again, and the Howells convert the island into a getaway resort with the 5 castaways as silent partners. Ginger was again played by Judith Baldwin. In a second sequel, this is when you know that these things make a ton of money, and they go in, how can we just pull one more out?
Got bills to pay.
The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, 1981. Villains, played by Martin Landau and then-wife Barbara Bain, try to take over the island to gain access to a vein of supremium, a valuable but volatile fictional element. This time, Ginger was played by Constance Forsland. They are thwarted by timely intervention of the Harlem Globetrotters. Jim Backus, who was in poor health at the time, was written out of the script by saying Thurston Howell III was tending to Howell Industries back on the mainland. David Roop-something played the role of his son, Thurston Howell IV, who was asked to manage the resort. However, Backus insisted on keeping continuity and made a cameo appearance at the end of the film. There you go.
How about that?
There's your Gilligan's Island for the day, ladies and gentlemen.
You never know where we're going.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, let's see. Some cadets in hot water. Mentioned this to Neal right before the show today. Cheating scandal at West Point. Reading here from the USA Today, the majority of the cadets involved in the worst academic cheating scandal at West Point in 45 years are athletes, including 24 members of the football team that's scheduled to play in a bowl game Thursday, according to West Point officials. In all, 55 of the 73 cadets accused of cheating on a calculus final exam in May are athletes, including 17 who remain on the football team. You have actually played. Some of those players could dress and play in the Liberty Bowl. It says they're allowed to play because West Point's superintendent in October suspended a policy that limited or prevented cadets found in violation of the Academy's honor code from representing the Academy in public, including athletes at sporting events. So they took a rule out that still would technically allow them to play. But yeah, something about a calculus test. Essentially, the guy said that they did not cancel the punishment. They're simply waiting until final adjudication. but that they chose an easy wrong instead of a hard right because they were remote classes, and essentially they cheated on a calculus test that was remote and not in person. So that is what the cadets have done. It said that they will have differing levels of disciplinary action. Some will be kicked out of school, some will be on probation the rest of their tenure at West Point and whatnot. But nonetheless, looks like they will play against West Virginia this week for that one. So
Wisconsin leads Wake Forest 35-21 in the aforementioned.
This is the Duke Mayo.
This is the Mayo Bowl.
I was wrong.
I'll tell you this: if the winning coach gets Mayo dumped on him, I'm going to get nauseated right here.
That feels like. How much mayo would it take, though, to cover you from a bucket like that after the thing?
More than I'd even want to think about.
I mean, can you imagine a 5-gallon bucket of mayo?
No.
Is mayo heavy? Would it be really heavy? What's the density of mayo?
I mean, you can Google it.
That's okay. I'm all right. Just wondering.
You put mayo in a chocolate cake?
Mayo's on a lot of stuff that you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people put it on fish to keep it
I knew that.
moist.
On a grilled cheese sandwich on the outside of the bread to give it a crispness.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not much, though. Just a light coat.
Just a schmear.
I mean, but not even. I mean.
Yeah, hopefully not much. Yeah, I'm shocked that online classes would facilitate cheating. Blow me away.
Some like the guys at West Point are also just kids.
Yeah, of course.
Doing dumb stuff.
Of course.
I get it's a higher level of scrutiny, and it probably should be.
It should be, but look, I mean, online learning doesn't. I don't want to get political. It's not as effective as in-person learning in a number of different ways.
Isn't it kind of weird, though, that everything's like we've both done it today on something that's not political, but we've just stopped and when we don't want to get political.
Yeah.
Because everything is political. So, like, no matter what you're talking about, well, there's a way that becomes political.
Yep. Tina Louise was in a movie as recently as 2019.
Really?
Tapestry.
Okay. Yeah, she's 86.
She was in television as recently as 1999. She was in L.A. Heat.
Like as a one-off?
Yeah, she played Patricia Ludwigs and
in like how many eps?
One.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. Good for her.
She was in an episode of Married with Children.
Tina Louise was.
1990. Played Miss Beck in the Kelly Bounces Back episode. How about that?
Miss Beck, Married with Children. Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, there she is.
Hey, you people come here for football and look at all the things you learn.
What do you do material? We've kind of exhausted all of our Rocky and Top Gun takes, so we're looking for.
Hey, what happened to Top Gun 2?
July 2nd.
Oh, okay.
I know you'll be surprised by this. They moved it to when they actually can make money in theaters when they release it.
Shocking.
So, yeah, it's been pushed back. I think it's July 2nd. Y'all excited about a Bears playoff game if they get in? It'll be pumped and ready to go?
No. The Bears are in.
Got to host a big watch party for Saints Bears in the first round.
Bears are in purgatory because they're in that spot where
they're too good and not good enough.
They're too good to get like a top 5 pick, and they're not good enough to finish in the top 5, and so they're just there. Like they'd have a 10% chance against the Saints. I mean, the Saints would have to play a terrible football game.
Because any points makes it complicated for Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the NBA team that finishes 9th in the conference. Yeah, great, awesome. 8th, the 7th seed.
Yeah,
like,
you can't do that.
Fine.
You can't do that.
Chicago is only a 5.5-point underdog against Green Bay this weekend.
Well, I told you the last 2-3 weeks, all jokes aside, they haven't been that bad.
Chicago's getting 5.5. The Saints.
That game's in Chicago. Not that it matters.
Yeah, it is.
An empty Soldier Field.
The Saints are giving 6.5 to the Panthers in Carolina. And then for anything else that kind of matters. Seattle giving 6 to the 49ers. So there's your other game that would have to could potentially change that 1 seed in the NFC. And then your 325 game, Arizona and the Rams. A lot of books have taken it off because of Goff's injury, but Arizona minus 2.5 is the line for the places that have kept it up to this point. So,
got to give the NFL credit.
They got here.
They did it.
No games missed.
They never blinked.
They played a couple on Tuesdays and one on Wednesday, and that's the only really change they've done. Everybody got all 16 games in.
It's the king of all leagues.
They were going to play, and
they're a machine. We are getting to the finish line,
and they will.
Yeah. Didn't miss a damn thing. They're going to get every dime of that TV money.
Mm-hmm. Clemson OC Tony Elliott missing the semifinal against Ohio State with a COVID positive test.
Oh,
Clemson will be without their OC in that game. Let's see. College football playoff has set makeup dates in case something COVID related affected the actual games, but I have not heard anything that would make that seem to be a possibility. Should something happen, they would do January 11th and 12th, and then January 18th.
Should move it to a Tuesday. Move one to a.
I don't even know what days of the week.
11th is a Monday.
Okay.
12th is a Tuesday.
And a final on another Monday on the 18th. Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
They said if both teams from one semifinal are available, that game would be played as scheduled, even if the other contest has to be postponed.
Well, that'll piss off some scouts. I mean, some agents.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. I can't get my hands on the guy till when?
Yeah.
You're pushing it back another week?
Yeah.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. So.
There's some nervous agents watching these games.
Pete asking, so who all is not playing? Elijah, yes. Yeboah, yes. Braylon, yes. Likely Ely. Ely might give it a go.
Yeah.
I think that's all I know off the top of my head.
Braylon's not playing.
Yeah, we know
unless
that.
The information that I've got is completely wrong.
Okay.
I think Ely will give it a go. I wouldn't.
Oh.
Throw that puppy into coverage, big boy.
That was a bad throw by the Wake Forest quarterback. Get in there, big fella. Come on.
You're going to hate yourself tomorrow.
He had it if he just kept going.
For those who aren't watching, he had a pick six in his hands, and he ran about 60 yards, and the quarterback got him at the 3.
But he
tried to
He
make
has no
another
experience
cut.
running the football. I understand that. But
it's the first time he's run the football since his high school junior year right here, I bet.
He should have just kept going. He had a blocker.
Yeah, right. And I think he can outrun the quarterback to the corner there.
Yeah, cut back and go.
Yeah. But he stopped.
He went away from his blocker. I mean, I hate to be too critical of the big fella. But
good pick, though. He stepped right in front of that slant.
That's a linebacker. He might have a little more.
Yeah, he probably played some running back in high school. He's laughing as if, hey, I haven't done this in a while.
He's pretty good size.
He's a big boy.
Big kid.
Yeah. Big Tens.
Oh. Neal's getting very enchanted by this Big Ten football
I love
game.
me some Big Ten football. I can't help it. I'm excited about Ole Miss, Indiana. It'll be like the two leagues that I watch all the time. I love the Big Ten SEC games. I know those two leagues. I love some Big Ten, man. Braylon's hurt.
Yeah. He's
for people who are asking. Braylon's hurt. I mean, it's my understanding he didn't break it, but it was severe. He's one that I'm watching to see what he does. Does he come back or not?
I think he comes back.
Lane indicated today that he thinks most of the seniors are going to come back. So they'd had those conversations already.
Yeah, I think he comes back. I really do.
I think Braylon can be impactful if completely healthy. If I were Lane, I wouldn't want to risk Braylon playing on a compromised ankle.
No, keep him in.
Yeah. He's a burner. He's a threat. He's a take the top off of a defense kind of guy.
And really stood. I mean, I know he got hurt, but I mean, he stepped up against LSU. He's playing a hell of a football game.
He did. I think they win if he doesn't get hurt.
Sure.
They couldn't cover him. Look, he's really good. He got overshadowed by Elijah because everybody outside of Devontae Smith got overshadowed by Elijah.
And he just wasn't used in previous seasons.
Yeah, at all. Because
whatever, yeah. Call it what you will. I don't know. Get him back. Get a few defenders back that you really can use. Because, I mean, there are some you could use back.
And then add some.
They would take Drummond back.
Yeah.
If Ontario wants to come back.
And then take some impact defensive players. One of the things Lane pointed out today, it's a flaw in the system. Serious conversation. It's not as good as Gilligan, but he was talking about how one of the flaws in the system, and he's exactly right, is that all these kids can and will opt out. He says, but you can't replace them unless you have an initial, which leads to thousands of kids sitting in the portal with no place to go.
There's no room for them anywhere.
People go, well, they could go to, let's take a bad school, ULM. Okay, ULM might have 20 scholarships available, but if they don't have but 3 initials available, they have 3 available.
Yeah. And then it's, do I want to use initials on transfers?
Well, and
you know what I mean?
The answer is probably so, but maybe at a place like ULM, you'd go, hey, let's rebuild this thing for a year or two.
Saying.
Yeah, let's take 12. Can't.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Terry's got a lot up his sleeve. He's going to figure some stuff out.
Oh, dear God.
He's going to do work on the bayou.
Mm-hmm.
On the bayou, 4 hours north.
Well, there is a bayou in Monroe.
Okay.
Bayou de Seard runs right through it.
All right, whatever.
I used to run along the bayou. It was nice.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Feels very cinematography feels awesome on that. I mean,
it's one of the prettier parts of Monroe.
Podcast brought to you in part by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com is the website to go see where to stay, what to eat, do, and see, as well as the events page. It has plenty going on. If you are coming into town for New Year's Eve, take advantage of the restaurants in town. Some are doing set menus, some doing their normal menus. Heard of a good menu. I put the list up on rumblegrove.com where I know for sure who's open on New Year's Eve for that type thing. Yes, it does close at 11 o'clock, but they will be doing dinner and different things for New Year's Eve. If you're staying overnight, call the hotels directly. I've been asked to tell you guys that don't use the services. Call the hotels. You'll get some better deals, get some discounts, different things when you do that. All hotels that I'm aware of are open right now over the holiday season. So, again, visit oxfordms.com.
Also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. Speaking of Oxford, if you invest at OUB, if that's where you go, it's where you put your money. They're going to put it right back into the Oxford community. They also have the best checking account. It's called Kasasa, and with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000, refund ATM fees nationwide. They also offer online bill pay, mobile check deposit using the online app. To learn more about OUB, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. My mailbag got up this morning, as Chase referenced. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. And we're brought to you by Bain, Moss & Bowen. Located in historic downtown Corinth, their firm represents a wider range of law, from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss & Bowen is the only firm in Mississippi that is made up of a state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth, or by calling them at 662-287-1620. And we're brought to you by Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James. It's a team in Jackson providing planning and investment guidance to clients across the state and surrounding areas. Financial advisors Bill Geary, Logan Phillips, Chris Carrero, and Ryan Geary are partners with a commitment to personalized service. Call them at 601-368-2215. See if they might be a good fit for your financial goals. Raymond James and Associates, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC. And we're brought to you by Heritage Properties, home to 3 properties in Oxford, Faulkner Flats, Cambridge Station, and Lexington Point. All 3 communities are multifamily housing. They offer on-site management and maintenance. They're pet-friendly, and they offer short-term leases. Live at FaulknerFlats.com or call 662-234-4558. We'll be on with you Saturday morning at 9:30. It'll be mimosas and Ole Miss getting ready for the Outback Bowl. That show's Scoreboard Business brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylish hand-select pieces from top designers, from work to night to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone. Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more at The Rogue, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson, or at therogue.com. You can also visit them by calling them at 601-362-6383 or send them an email, info@therogue.com.
Something in your mailbag, somebody said if you were given your choice of quarterbacks, you would take Burrow over Cam or Manziel for the one season?
That 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Cam or Burrow.
Cam's the one that you just can't get out of your mind. Damn, Burrow made throws last year. All year. Like, he didn't make a bad throw. And he made plays with his feet.
Yeah, he moved better than he got credit for.
Did you watch Ted Lasso yet?
I haven't. You really enjoyed it.
I finished it, yes. Probably going to watch it
You
again.
ran through it, didn't you?
It was great, yeah. I hated that it ended.
Just one season?
Yeah, they've already booked seasons 2 and 3. But they're going to do them in the spring.
Yeah, everything's gotten pushed back a year. Because, like, Secession's not coming back until
I thought I would hate it.
Uh-huh.
And
what made you hit the button to begin with?
Needed something to try.
Okay.
Someone used the word uplifting, and I went, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
Reading else from the mailbag. I thought I was talking on the podcast. We just got a couple minutes left here. There was conversation that the little satellite dish was too big.
Oh, yeah.
The little bitty one?
Yeah. She didn't like it at all.
This was in Alabama.
This is in Mobile. She pitched a fit about it. Because I'd been saying, hey, I want to get
Where was it? On the house?
On the side, towards the back.
Could you see it from the road?
I mean, if you were looking hard for it.
From the front yard?
Yeah, if you were really looking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone said, hey, spot the satellite, and they looked for it, sure.
I mean, I remember at my grandparents' the really big ones back in the day. I mean, those son of a guns that look like UFOs that had landed in your backyard.
Yeah, and you were sure they were watching the Portugal nightly news. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you were just sure. But
what happened to all those? Like, how do you dispose of them when people are like, hey, can we get this monstrosity out of our yard?
I mean, they're at the bottom of the Atlantic somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
It looks like an episode of Alf. I mean, like, what do you do with those things?
I don't know. I mean,
because like DirecTV or whoever's not coming back to get them.
No.
What was the satellite company that had the big ones back in the day?
I don't remember the name because it was nothing that we ever even considered.
Price was probably ridiculous, right?
Probably, and my parents were not. There were limits to our television consumption.
Was there?
Sure. Ginger says satellite dishes are an eyesore any size. Ginger and Laura are probably in the same boat.
I mean,
now I will say this, and I wrote this in the mailbag. When all of a sudden the amount of Dora the Explorer that was available for Campbell to watch went from 1 hour a day at a specific time to that baby's on all the time, a little different deal.
Satcom 1, reading here, says, let's see. In 1975, RCA created Satcom 1, the first satellite built especially for use by then 3 national television networks, CBS, NBC, and ABC. Later that same year, HBO leased a transponder on Satcom 1 and began transmission of television programs via satellite to cable systems. Owners of cable systems paid $10,000 to install 3-meter dishes to receive TV signals in C-band. So in 1975, to get 3 or 4 channels, it cost you $10,000.
Oh, wow.
I'm just reading from the thing.
That's crazy.
I think what we're remembering.
I remember the ones out in the country in North Louisiana in people's backyards that looked like a satellite. I mean,
What year are you talking about?
I mean, I was born in '70, so we're talking the '80s.
Okay. I remember Prime Star in the early '90s, and I think that might have even became a DirecTV at some point. I don't know, but for some reason, Prime Star sticks in my head.
I just wasn't a big TV person when I was a little kid. When I was a kid, I mean, I wanted to go play.
You didn't have a ton of channels and options either.
No, but I like to play. Give me a basketball goal. And my poor parents, I played this game in my driveway. I turned the brick wall that went up against like the dining room and the kitchen.
Sure.
I turned so that it was brick, like, I don't know, 10, 12 feet up. And then above that, it was wood. And so if you threw a tennis ball against the brick, you could get a ground ball out of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
and if you threw it against the wood, you could get a fly ball out of it.
Sure. Yeah.
So me and George Brett and all of my friends, I had this team, and we played these games. I could get a ground ball to the shortstop. I could get a pop fly to the center fielder. And you know it drove them crazy hearing that pop, pop up against the wall. But I guess they bit their tongues.
Yeah, it's a C-band satellite dish.
That sounds familiar.
I just look for the pictures of them. That's what they are.
And I had a Nerf hoop. I'd play Nerf hoop, and that had to drive them crazy because my room was upstairs and it was loud.
Just rattling.
I would get yelled at about Nerf hoop.
Would you really?
Yeah. And when I was a little kid, I could take those Matchbox cars,
yeah,
and marbles,
yeah,
and turn that into a Matchbox car baseball game. Yep.
Had a lot of time on your hands.
Created a whole game.
Had a lot of time on your hands.
I did, and I had one of those circular rugs. You know what I'm talking about? The rugs that have the almost looks like little slots.
Mm-hmm.
I turned that into a racetrack.
You didn't need TV.
I didn't need TV, man. I was creative.
Didn't need to watch Flipper.
Nope.
Oh, good.
And once you saw a couple episodes of Flipper, you'd seen them all.
Not a lot of plot advancement in Flipper.
And we would go play. I mean, no joke. I mean, I tell Carson about this, and he looks at me with just envy and awe. We would, all summer long, we would play wiffle ball. Well, we'd start the summer playing baseball, and then invariably we'd break something. You know, you'd break a window, and then you'd say, "Hey guys, this isn't going to work," and so you'd go to wiffle ball, and then over the course of the summer, you'd add another layer of electrical tape, and by the end of the summer, you're practically playing baseball again.
Yeah,
the wiffle ball was so hard that you needed a glove.
Oh, you hurt people. Whelps on you when you got hit by it.
Yeah. Well, because the rule was with each at bat, you could throw one fastball.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when people we'd have brawls. Like, don't hit if you can't control where that damn thing's going, don't throw it at me. And we have fights.
Well, look, it's one of the reasons that The Sandlot has staying power is it's a cute movie and everybody can relate. When you're younger and you're out every day and you had your neighborhood group and it's what you did.
The best was when the kids from another neighborhood would come over and play against us. And so instead of 4 versus 4, it's like 8 versus 8, and now it's on.
It's Anchorman all of a sudden.
It's
like,
damn
hey,
right. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
That's the Saturday game. It's
yeah.
like, hey, all
That's
week.
That's a big deal.
Like,
yeah, you plan for that one all week, and then invariably it'd fall apart, and you're so disappointed.
Yeah. Whatever. Hope all you guys are enjoying the Duke's Mayo Bowl as it is getting close. Wisconsin looks like it's getting late early for the Demon Deacons a little bit here. So
getting away.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin's on its way to a bowl win. So enjoyed all the time on the stream. All you guys, podcast form, YouTube form, whatever it is you are watching us on. We obviously will have scoreboard business 9:30 on Saturday morning. We have not decided what we're doing tomorrow. We'll figure that out. We'll let you know. So
I told Chase, me and my very busy social life.
His New Year's plans are really throwing some kinks into our plans, but we're going to attempt to make it work.
I have no plans whatsoever, so I'm flexible.
So we'll figure that out. We'll let you know. But appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a good day.